Okay, I dug this out of my closet. It was under a lot of weight, so the box is trashed, but stuff inside survived. Back in 2003, I started collecting cell phones, but I haven't really gotten many recently. They're mostly brick phones. There's one of the bigger ones. I like this one a lot. It's just a big, huge cell phone. But I have some classic Motorola's. Lots of Motorola's. There's a mini version. And there's another mini version. Here's the original flip phone. Well, that's not the original one. That's the upgraded version. Here's an original with the LED display. This one does not have an LED display. It has a fluorescent vacuum display. Or, you know, it might even be plasma. Yeah, I think this one's a plasma display. I'm sure all the batteries are dead and leaking. That's why I unhooked them all, most of them. That one looks fine. Well, I'll go through this and point out some of the nice ones. Okay, this is Pamper Chew. Here's a quick overview of all my cell phones that I've collected over the past couple years. I have 2 bag phones. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11 of the classic Motorola style brick phones. I have this large one that's bigger than the classic brick phone. And then I have a bunch of these small late 90s style phones. Let's take a closer look at the brick phones here. So this one here I don't know the brand of it. It's GTI, I think. Anyway, I don't have a charger for it, so I've never turned this one on. Probably will turn on, most likely will not work because they shut off analog cell towers last year. Let's take a look at a classic gray Motorola style brick phone. It's a nice heavy phone. If I could get this activated, I would use it as a cell phone. I like these a lot more. The sound quality is good. A lot better than today's phones, I would say. This uses an LED screen. I'll show that turned on later. And the standard send and volume, power buttons that we're used to seeing. The clear, recall. This has a phone book in it, and you can do some things. I cannot text message with this phone. The battery comes off. There's a little latch on the bottom, and the battery slides right off. The battery is about 1/4 the full thickness. You can get the extended battery. I don't have any that were a little longer, making your phone a little bit bigger. These are 7.5 volt NiCad batteries. They don't use NiCads in cell phones anymore. Most of them are lithium polymer. Now this thing at the top, I think, is to program the phone at the factory or at the place that you would purchase one of these phones. Now all these antennas were removable. They just unscrew, and you can connect your own antenna, maybe for a car that would be outside the car, or in a house where you're far away from the city. You can put up an antenna on your roof and just connect it to that connector. Or if you're, in the city, you can just use the screw-on antenna. We got quite a few of those. There are a few variations of this style. This was the main style, and other companies and Motorola also made different styles, like this one. This is also Motorola, but it's the thinner version. Here's the thinner version, but not Motorola. I don't think. It might be, actually. No, this is a Motorola phone, but it has a totally different style keypad. And those had black background white text. This has white background black text. But still an LED display. Here's here's another Motorola. Round buttons. This one I think had text messaging. Menu. A little more modern, still a brick phone. And if you take a look closely, I think this is a plasma display. I'll turn this on later so you can see it. If it is not a plasma display, please let me know in the comments. But I think it is a plasma display. Same thing with this flip phone. It's also the more modern style with that different kind of display. Not a LED, not an LCD, it's something different. I can turn the brick phone on later. These are more modern. You've probably seen these before. You probably had some of these. These are all just the standard old school brick phone. This one uses that funny display. Get a good close-up view of it. Alright, and here is another odd one. This one was not made by... Oh, it was made by Motorola. Weird. Anyway, it's totally different looking than any of the others. This one is a US West Megaphone Ultra Classic 2. This one's a US West Cellular Ultra Classic. We have a Cellular one by Motorola. America Series 930 by Motorola. Cellular one. Same thing, but in a white. This is the large, but in white. Oh, there's the phone number it had. Alright, we are in my car because I only have the car adapter. Otherwise, I would have to find some good batteries that could be charged. So I'm just going to plug this into the car. What we have here is the one with that funny display. It's the thin Motorola. Let's go ahead and plug it in here. Ooh, this is a digital. Of course, we get the no service because, well, probably because there's no towers for it anymore. Totally different system. But let's type in a number here. Fake number. So see how it does that glow there? Let's see what happens if I call. It just gives you the no service alert. I'm going to end it. Okay, let's try the next one. Okay, let's power it up. It's locked, and I don't have the code. Same thing. There are no analog towers, so this isn't going to work at all. But there's the brick phone. Now let's go ahead and plug in this bag phone. Alright, the bag phone just unzips and opens. That's the talk piece. And then on this side, you have cable that plugs into the car. Okay, once that's plugged in, I'll go ahead and turn this on. There's the power button. I wonder if it even works. Take it off here. Yeah, guess it doesn't work. Oh well. Anyway, there's a speaker there so you can talk hands-free. Okay, and one last thing before we go. I just wanted to show you the inside of a brick phone. Well, the first layer, it's all these crystals up inside the top there. And then on the second layer you have CPU, memory, program. There's a EEPROM right there. And then in this part you have your dial and your speaker, microphone, display. On the flip phone, it's a lot smaller. You have surface mount. I think this would be the CPU right there. Now, something about the flip phone, and all these flip phones are the same as this one. The antenna really doesn't do shit. It's a piece of plastic. Okay? There's no wire in there. If you look closely, there's the antenna right there, that little coil. This whole thing is just plastic. So putting it up doesn't do anything. Okay, there you go, my cell phone collection. And for those of you who have never seen one of these, this is a SIM card. Certain cell phone carriers use it, such as T-Mobile. Others don't, like Verizon. Okay, so I dug out my cell phones again and I took out all the batteries and I'm attempting to see if any are still any good. So I'm charging these up here. This is a dual charger. I got a whole pile of those to test. So basically I'm just going to charge them up, then run them on the phone and see how long it takes for them to die or if it doesn't start up at all. I also have a charger for the brick phone over here and 4 batteries. I charged this one up for 10 minutes and it turned the phone on for a few seconds, so I'm hoping that at least one of those is still good. And we'll see what happens. Oh, and by the way, this thing here is my web server to my website. Alright, so I charged one of these batteries overnight and it held a pretty good charge. Let's grab my digital phone here and hook it up. Now I got some advice from someone online about changing the settings so that it might be able to pick up a signal. So what we do here is hit, we call star, and it says STD AB. So I'm guessing that's standard signal A and signal B. I still haven't been able to pick up a signal, and I get this no service flashing light. Roam doesn't come on. I can make it in use come on, but I still get that chirping noise that's telling me there's no signal. Oh, let's look at some features that this has that I know of. If you hit function 4, gives you battery life. I've been playing with this for about 30 minutes and it still has a full battery, so that's a good battery. If I go and hit, I think it's function 0 star, it goes into alpha mode and I can type in names. So I can go, but it's a lot different than if you were to type in today's cell phone. You hit P and then you go next, A, next, M next. Well, you can't see it over here, but it's at Pamper Chew. Yeah. Now, there's my current phone. I would so trade, if I can get this working, I'll use this instead of this, because this is kind of boring. Everyone has this thing. Flat, small, with a touch screen. That's boring. Come on. You want like something you can whip out and everyone in the room sees you have a phone and they're like, whoa, he must be important. Look at the size of that phone. But I tried charging up. I got a couple more on the charger. One was completely useless, so I mean it just flickered the light after a full day's charge. But this one holds a slight charge. This is the same phone, different body. I can do the same thing. I can type in recall pound, or that one. I can switch through all the menus. Home, scan A, scan B, standard AB, scan BA. So I just leave it on this one here, and then I say store. And you'd be like, hey, what's up? Gotta go. And then close it, stick it in your pocket or whatever. The antenna didn't do anything. I think I mentioned that in the other videos. It's just a piece of plastic. The actual antenna is right in here. And I think this is just because at the time people thought the antenna mattered and they wanted a phone with an antenna. If it didn't have an antenna, they didn't want to buy it. They used to do that with receivers, tuners. When they went from tube to transistors, people were used to picking it up. If it was heavy, it was good. Well, transistors are really light, so they'd pick it up and it would be light, and so they wouldn't think it was that good. So what the companies started doing was putting rocks or bricks inside the tuners so they would feel heavy. That was a story one of my teachers told me. I've not actually seen it, but I mean it makes sense. If a market is used to lifting up things to see if it's good, if it's heavy, and then they switch to something light, especially in the 50s or the 60s. But there you go. So far I can't do much with this, but oh man, I would love to use this. I'm gonna go drive around town and see if I can get a signal. Maybe it's just because I'm right behind Rocky Butte. You can't really see from here, but there's a giant mountain of trees. Now for the classic flip phone.